to Tuesday's Tips from Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and have you ever thought about washing or taking care of your scissors? Just like a mechanic, I have lots of tools for each job. I have little scissors that have little hooks in them that are great for needlepoint. Tiny little scissors for snips. Large scissors for big cuts for dressmaking. And of course, ever popular pinking shears. There are so many different pairs of scissors for different jobs, but can they be taken care of, and should they be taken care of? No different than anything else in the sewing room, they can be taken care of. We don't think about cleaning the scissors because it's just not something we normally think about doing. The scissors go through a lot. We cut through fabric that is thick, fur, synthetics, cottons, wools. All of those fabrics have some kind of a chemical in them. The chemical could be just even for the color of the fabric and to keep the fabric nice. Starches, dyes, anything is going to be in the fabric, and that is going to transfer onto your scissors. Even if you're cutting something that is sticky, that stickiness is going to transfer onto the blades. So you can clean your scissors, and it's very easy. We can divide the scissors into two categories. One that are all metal so that they have the metal handles, and others where the handles are made with some kind of a plastic material. So we need to treat them both separately. The handles that have some kind of a plastic coating do get dirty, not only from our own hands, but from the dye and stuff from the fabric. And if you look really close, you can see that the handle is quite dirty. So we need to clean the handles separately than the metal ends. To clean the handles, I usually use just good old-fashioned dish soap. But I only wash the handles. I never have water or soap hit anything from the top part of the blade. That soap is only going to handle that bottom piece. Whatever I'm going to use to wash that handle, I'm going to rinse off afterwards. So none of that cleanser is going to get into that blade or into that screw area. So regardless if you're going to use a spray cleaner or dish soap, try to avoid getting it into that area there where the metal ends are. And once I've cleaned the handles, I like to rinse them with just some plain water because some chemicals will react over time with the plastic. And I don't want the handles to deteriorate or get soft. So after I've cleaned them, I will rinse them with cool water and give them a good dry. Then when the handles are done, I'm going to be able to work on the metal part of the scissors. Already you can see how much cleaner the handle is if I take just a white cotton cloth and rub it and clean that, even without any cleaner at all. You can see that they are dirty. When you use those scissors, the metal is rubbing against a metal, so you're always going to have that residue just from the metal, never mind with the other stuff that you're cutting. I like to take an old toothbrush, which I've put a mark on it so that, well, we don't use it for anything else. I open up the scissors and I brush inside of all of the little areas to make sure that I can get all of the dust out of them. You can just take a cloth and wipe off all of the dust. Now I'm going to clean them, and I'm going to clean them with sewing machine oil. Sewing machine oil is a little bit different than other oils. Kitchen oils like olive oil and vegetable oil actually turn rancid and sticky over time, so you don't want to use that to clean your scissors or to oil your scissors. Any other types of oils are a little bit heavier and they're not as refined or as clear. Sewing machine oil is very refined and very clear, and it doesn't get sticky over time. It also works great as a cleaner. I have a lot of residue that is sticky on the scissors. So I'm going to be able to take the machine oil, put a good coat, and just let it sit for a couple of minutes. So I'll coat the entire pair of scissors, both sides and inside on the blades, being very careful. You can use a toothbrush to get all of that oil into all the spots that you want cleaned. And I make sure all of that oil gets in. Just going to give it a good scrub. And with it being machine oil, I know it's not going to hurt anything. You can see how much dirt has already come off alone with just that oil. Once I've done the scrubbing, I'm going to wipe them clean. Now, I don't know if you can see or not, but all of that residue that has been sitting there is now gone. The last thing I'll do is I'll put a little drop of oil right in the area where the screws are and where that hinges. And I only need one drop. And I take that and I let that oil work inside. It'll help keep all of that nice and lubricated so that the metal is not grinding against the metal. And then I'll just wipe off any excess. So I now have one perfectly cleaned pair of scissors. The scissors that have the plastic end, I'm going to be able to do the same thing, but I only need to do it now to the metal ends. I won't need to do the handles. And I can put that oil right in there and clean all of that old oil and any residue that is stuck on. Then I'll put a drop of oil right there in that corner. One drop is lots. Give them a little exercising so that you get that oil all the way into those screws. Tiny drop of oil goes a long way. If I'm going to do them, I might as well do all of my scissors at once. And the key player is just plain old sewing machine oil. So it doesn't matter how many pair of scissors you have or what your scissors are used for. It's always good to give them a nice cleaning so that they last you a whole lot longer. Thank you for joining me today on Tuesday's Tips. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.